How's it going, guys? I'm Keith with Prof, and today we're going to talk about the Pokemon Regional Championships that recently occurred this weekend in Fort Wayne, Indiana. It was a pretty long weekend for me. Definitely didn't get any sleep at all. Totally worth it. The schedule consisted of getting off work at 1 a.m. On Saturday morning, so I had to drive to Elkhart, which is about an hour and a half away from me, and then I had to drive to Fort Wayne after that, which is another hour and a half, and registration started at about 9, I think it was 9. I didn't sleep at all. I tried to, couldn't do it. Last minute, my girlfriend also decided to compete, so I just gave her my deck, and I also made a 5-minute Darkrai deck out of the cards I had in my battle box that I carried with me. So today we're going to look at the decks that I saw there, the deck that I used myself, and the deck overview of it. Stick around towards the end of the video. I'm also going to put up a booster pack code for you guys that like to do the online stuff that I definitely I can't get into. Stick around. Also, at the end, we're going to also have a question of the day, of the week, because I post videos sporadically. I don't have a set schedule. I'm a pretty busy guy. Can't do that. Alright, so I guess I'm going to start off by showing you the videos that I took on my phone while I was there. I brought my camera and I forgot the SD card in my computer, so I'm just going to show you those videos right quick. How's it going, guys? It's Prof. Forgot my SD card. So this is on my phone. We're at Pokemon Regionals in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I'm going to show you guys the room. So there's a lot of people here, and it's more than last year, which is weird because you have to pay to get in this time. So I'm running on no sleep. I haven't slept since I woke up at like 7 o'clock yesterday, which is Friday morning, and it is now Saturday at like 9:30. So yeah, I worked until 1 in the morning, and then I had to drive to Elkhart to pick up my girlfriend, and then I had to drive to Fort Wayne, which is where we're at now, which I said before. I'm really tired. So I'm running on no sleep. I built a deck in like 2 minutes. It's running Darkrai, Absol, and Sableye. And I also have the promo Darkrai in there. I'll put a deck list in the description below, probably. I gave my girlfriend my Thunderous Deoxys deck. Hopefully she'll do better. I'm probably not. I'm just here for the points so I can go to Nationals and Worlds. So I'm gonna probably update after every match. Kind of sucks I forgot my SD card. I'm running kind of late. Maddie wave. It's Maddie's first year at Masters. Everybody wave. Okay, so we just got done with the first matches. Okay, it's best 2 out of 3, so the first match I lost. Like, I just got demolished. And then the second and third time I won. He was running Thunderous, Deoxys, and Lugia. It's kind of weird. He had his goal was to donk the first turn, so he got me that first time. But the second time I came back, I'm currently running Darkrai and Absol. I won. How'd you do, Jen?
I lost.
She lost.
I don't want to be here. But
you chose to lose. All in all, first match will So I forgot to record after the second match, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. I'm home. We only played 2 rounds because I had to go to work and stuff, so had to drop. The second match didn't go so well. I run only dark types in my deck, and my opponent had a Landorus EX, which is a fighting type for those of you that don't know. And as you can see, a lot of people attended. For those of you non-believers that think only kids play Pokemon now, you're dead wrong. I actually was a little surprised by how many people attended. For those of you that don't know, Pokemon recently started charging for the tournaments. It used to be free last year, and this year the Pokemon company's like, hey, you want to play, you give me 20 Dara. This is the first event in this region anyways, that kicked off the 2014 season of Pokemon, so it's pretty exciting stuff to see everybody again. When you compete in local areas like this in championships, you start meeting a lot of people that you see at every event. So like I'll go to Indiana States and I'll see somebody. I'll go to Michigan State and see the same person. It's really cool. You make a lot of friends. It's nice being around people with the same interest. So we're going to talk about the decks that were played there that I saw. From the videos that you saw, you know, I only played 2 matches, but I did spectate a lot. I saw the Thunderous Deoxys, I saw played a lot. I saw Darkrai played a lot. And I call it the Land Order deck, just because that's my creative way of naming decks, is you just combine the 2 major cards in the deck. And so we're going to talk about Thunderous Deoxys. It's definitely a sketchy deck to play now. I know in the spring it was definitely, and for Nationals as well, it was definitely the most played deck there. And it didn't win U.S. Nationals, but it got high up there. Everybody sees it coming now. That's pretty much the way it is. Everybody sees that deck, and they know what to do with it now. And it's just not getting as playable with those silver mirrors and stuff. So the second deck I'm going to talk about is the Landorus Garbodor combo deck, and that's what my buddy TJ plays. I don't have the sufficient amount of cards to play it. I only have like 1 Landorus because I can't pull good cards. What that deck does is it neutralizes your opponent's abilities. So for my Darkrai deck, it would neutralize my Rush In for Keldeo. It would neutralize my Dark Cloak for Darkrai. For Thunderous Deoxys' ability that I think it's called like Power Link or something. It basically increases your Plasma's Pokemon attacks by 10. That doesn't work either. So that's why Garbodor alone is the reason why Tool Scrapper is necessary in every deck in this format. That is actually the deck I lost to in my second match, and one of the reasons I wish I would have put Kyurem in there, because Kyurem could have took out Landorus 1 hit if I got my Blizzard Burn out. That's the problem with running only Dark Pokemon, and that's why you gotta think when you're creating a deck, even if it's only 5 minutes, no excuses for that. Especially when I knew Landorus was so freaking playable. I'm like, hey, let's just put all the Pokemon in the format that's weak to fighting, and that's exactly what I did, because I'm an idiot. Landorus is really hard to take care of. He takes 1 energy and he does 30-30, which... it's a bitch. The next deck, I did see Virizion and Genesect. I think people are starting to figure out that that deck is not that playable. It's a good deck if you can get it going, but it burns too much energy for my taste. And I know this is coming from the guy that plays Rayquaza Eels, but... Nah, not a grass guy. Even in the game, and I just hate grass so much. I just got a message. It's cool to have friends. And the last major deck that I saw was the Darkrai deck. Probably all of them were better variants than what I had, because I didn't have the computer search. I didn't have lasers in my deck. Put together in 5 minutes. But you know what? I want to match with it. Get at me. Alright, so next I'm going to cut over to a video of me overviewing my deck. Feel free in the comments, and yeah, in the comments, that's the only option you have. Feel free in the comments below to give me your take on it. Like, what do you think I could have done better, besides the obvious that I pointed out so far? But what do you feel is the most playable deck right now in the format? Do you think Landorus Garbodor? Is there a deck that I didn't mention that you think is the best? I keep looking at the screen. I look like a retard. Yeah, just let me know in the comments below what you think. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. Okay, so my tripod's not working, so I'm going to do this by hand. But here is the deck that I played at Regionals this year, and it worked okay. There's a few mistakes I'll make, but I'll go through and tell you guys where I could have done better. You can't have a Darkrai deck without Darkrai. His Dark Cloak ability lets each Pokemon with a Dark Energy attached to it retreat for free, so he's muy importante. He's kind of the star of the deck. Keldeo isn't necessary, but it is it's seen a lot. With the Hypnotoxic Lasers in Burbank City Gym, Keldeo is kind of a... I guess you know, you kind of do need it. Its Rush-In ability lets you basically retreat for free into Keldeo. And with the Dark Energy attached to it, it can also retreat for free also, so you can... I call it the Rush Retreat. You can just bring it in and bring it back out and get the poison off real quick. Sableye is the ideal starter for this deck, with the exception of Donk decks. From what you probably heard earlier, this cost me a game, but its first attack is Confuse Ray, and it's not really that great. More of a desperate kind of a move. But its second attack is Junk Hut. That's the one that you want, and it's put 2 item cards from your discard pile into your hand, and that's very useful. This deck has a higher item rate than any other deck. And you could just Ultra Ball and discard 2 cards away, and then you just get them back at the end of the turn. It's very, very useful. Absol is introduced recently. It just made the Darkrai deck that much more playable. Darkrai is the best attacker against Plasma decks, because you could Silver Mirror it, and you can also do its first attack called Mind Jack. It does 20 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And for a Thunderous Deoxys deck that relies on Deoxys on the bench, it's a great attack to have. Also, with the Silver Mirror attachment, with a Plasma deck, usually they're all Plasma attackers, so unless they're running Tool Scrapers, you got them. The promo Darkrai is not really seen too much. It's really not that playable, actually. I only put it in there because, well, like I said, I made this deck in like 5 minutes, and I had it, so, you know, why not? I probably could have done a little bit better in picking a card to put in there. I did use it, but it died pretty quickly. It only has 110 HP. But it's not an EX, so I mean they only took 1 prize card. It's kind of good. I'll talk about the energies later. Actually, you know what? There's really nothing to talk about. I ran 3 Plasma Energies, and I'll put the number of Dark Energies in the description below. Professor Juniper and Skyla speak for themselves. I only ran 3 of each. 2 ends. That's one mistake I made. I had supporter problems. I didn't put that many supporters in there. There was one game where I was just kind of a sitting duck. One of my later games, and I just kind of lost the match because I couldn't get any support. But that's one regret I have. 3 Dark Patches, 3 Ultra Balls. Those cards worked great. Very consistent. My Ultra Balls, I would just discard 2 cards, add Sableye, get them back, and then I could also put Dark Energies in the discard pile to use Dark Patch. And what Dark Patch does is it lets you attach a Dark Energy from your discard pile onto a Dark Pokemon on the bench. So that was great. Worked out very well. 3 catchers and 2 switches. A lot of people think switches are not very necessary in a Darkrai deck because of Darkrai's Dark Cloak. His Dark Energies pretty much give everybody a free switch, but they actually ended up coming in handy because one of the more playable decks right now, arguably best in the format from what I've seen, is the Landorus and Garbodor combo. And Garbodor's, I forget what the ability is called right now, but basically if he has an item card attached to him, it shuts down everybody's ability. So the Darkrai deck becomes a sitting duck because nobody can, his ability shuts down and they have to retreat like normal Pokemon. So Switch did save me a couple times. There was one instance when my opponent actually had the Garbodor out with an item card attached to him, and he looked at me, he's like, "You don't run Switch, do you?" And then I just threw it down and switched. It was pretty funny. But yeah, those cards were very consistent. I'm glad I put them in there. 2 Tool Scrappers. Tool Scrappers are kind of a staple right now in most decks because so many Pokemon are so great with item cards attached to them that you sometimes just need to scrape them off, especially in Plasma decks because there are a lot of anti-Plasma item cards out right now. 2 Colress Machine because I only have 3 Colress Energy or Plasma Energy, so it worked out. It helped out with Absol and Darkrai. I guess I only put the Colress Machine in there because I thought when I was making the deck at the time that I was going to do the Plasma Badge Darkrai deck, but I ended up not doing it. I probably could have put something else in there, but it still went okay. The Dark Claw was definitely a great card to put in there. It won a match for me with Absol's Mind Jack. Silver Bangle, I didn't use too much. It's still a playable card. I don't regret putting it in there because it helps. Everybody runs an EX pretty much. Silver Mirror saved me on more than one occasion. There was one match when I was playing the Plasma deck that I had Absol with the Silver Mirror out, and all he could do was snipe me by catching another Pokemon and knocking him out. So my answer to that was just not put any more Pokemon down. So eventually it was just my Plasma Silver Mirror. And I won that match, so definitely my only regret is not putting more in there. I probably could have took that Silver Bangle out for another Silver Mirror, but that's alright. Floatstone was the single worst card I put in this deck. It's really unnecessary because of my Keldeo and Dark Cloak combo, and also I run switches. I definitely could have took that out for a Silver Mirror or a switch or something a little more useful than a Floatstone. But, like I said, 5-minute deck, I wasn't thinking too much. I had 2 decks in mind when I was making this deck, and I didn't really finish either plan out, so it's whatever. Enhanced Hammer. A lot of these cards, you're probably wondering why I only have like a few of them. It's because that Sableye right there, I figured I could have got him back out if I really needed to. But I did run one enhanced hammer. It helped a few times. It didn't really matter too much, I guess, but it did knock off a few energies. And my last card of the deck is the Scramble Switch, which I should have ran Computer Search. I would have if I had the extra cards. I didn't have an extra Computer Search with me out of my battle box, so it was either Scramble Switch or Master Ball, and Scramble Switch wins every time. So that's the deck that I ran. Remember that I built it in like 5 minutes, so don't be too harsh on it. It's pretty good. My future plans for this is definitely take out that Darkrai, maybe a Sableye, and put the Curums in there. Because the biggest problem this deck has, the single biggest problem is Landorus. There's nothing to repel Landorus, unless I get Keldeo built up. But even if I do get all the energy to attack with Keldeo, it's only going to swing for 100 on Landorus because of the weakness. If I can put Prism Energies in here, it would help. That's plan number 2, is to zoom out. Take out those Plasma Energy for Prism Energies, so I can place some water in here. But I think Kyurem will be a great addition to this, and once I get Kyurem in here, it'll probably be a pretty solid deck, actually. Just get my item cards a little bit better figured out, get rid of that Floatstone. Fucking Floatstone. Alright, so that is the deck I used for Regionals this year. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to go over how I did in the matches, and it was very interesting. The first match I faced at table 178, which was one of the bottom tables. The first round, okay, well first they changed the format from one match to best 2 out of 3. Luckily for me, because the first match I just got donked. If you don't know what donking is, it's when your opponent attacks you before you've had a turn, and you lose the game because it's your only Pokemon. So he played Thundurus Deoxys with Lugia. The whole deck was centered around Lugia, which I've never seen before, but I've heard of it. There's good and bad parts about that deck. The good part is if it works, it's freaking awesome. The bad part is if it doesn't get going first or second turn, second at the way latest, then your deck is going to be pretty crappy late game. So that's what he did the first round of the 3 rounds. He donked me and his deck worked like it was supposed to, and I just cried. But the second and third match didn't exactly go his way. I got my Absol out and my Darkrai going second round, and he just couldn't keep up with it with my Silver Mirrors, and I ended up winning. The third round was a little bit closer, but he ran out of Tool Scrappers, and I got the Silver Mirror on my Absol, and that was it. He couldn't really do anything except hope that I decked myself, which I didn't, because that's one decent part about the Darkrai deck, is it's pretty consistent. So I won my first match, and the second part was against the Landorus Garbodor, and I just... Oh, by the way, before I move on, let me just say that I made it to table 3. It's really not a big deal. I don't really feel like I should have to talk about it, but just throwing it out there. Table 3, not a big deal. Anyways, that being said, I just got completely wrecked on on that match. He got Landorus out, and it was pretty much once you get Landorus out, you're done with my deck. I wasn't thinking about Landorus at all when I made that deck, and I just got wrecked completely. He was a nice guy, though. I mean, that's the cool part compared to Magic the Gathering and like Yu-Gi-Oh! If you guys play that. Everybody that plays Pokemon, for the most part, are not huge dicks. After the second match, I had to drop. I had to go to work, and I was still late for work. Yeah. So that was pretty much it. I think that's all I had to say about regionals. It was a great way to kick off the 2014 season. Like I said, let me know in the comments below what you think about these decks that I talked about today. What you think is the best in the format, and what you think. What would you add or take away from my Darkrai deck? The list is in the description below. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. If you like these videos, I'm going to be doing one of these after every event I do. There's also a pre-release for Legendary Treasures. Less than a week away. So I'm probably going to do a video for that of opening packs and stuff. I know a few of you have already gotten to do that. Lucky you guys. But thanks for watching. And remember, you can follow me on Twitter using @ProKProS. And that's also in the link in the description below. So I made that easy for you guys. There's really no excuse. If you watch the video, you have to follow me. It's kind of a rule. It's like, I don't know, necessary. Alright, so thanks for watching. Here's your booster pack code, and see you next time.
Yeah.